NFL Live. Louis Riddick, Dan Orlovsky. We got a lot to get to. We'll get Marcus Spears involved here as well. But let's start with what's going on there in Minnesota. Dan, they're trying to make some moves to bolster their O-line. Sounds like protecting J.J. McCarthy if they can. Are you as confident in McCarthy as a starter as it seems like the Vikings are?
I'm more confident today than I have been since he's become a Minnesota Viking. And I think the Vikings have declared that over the past day or two. Hey, you're our guy. And here's I don't remember a young quarterback getting given the reins to go be the starter being in this good of a situation. Maybe Patrick the first year he took over, but I don't know if the defense was as strong as the one that we're going to see in Minnesota. With the addition of Fries and Ryan Kelly, we're talking about an offensive line that'll be top 3, top 4 offensive line in the NFL. We know the perimeter players are top 3 in the NFL. We know the scheme and play caller is as good as it gets in the NFL. And with some of the additions defensively, I fully expect J.J. McCarthy to hit the ground running. And there should not be much of a drop-off from individual production at that position, offensive production, or team success. This is a fantastic situation.
You mentioned Ryan Kelly. He's going to come and play center as a veteran. They already had Garrett Bradbury, so a lot of people saying, well, what's going on? They're going to wind up trading Garrett Bradbury is what I would expect here. Garrett Bradbury gets traded. Ryan Kelly steps in the center, and he will be the guy snapping the football, J.J. McCarthy.
Could benefit from getting Bradbury. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say, look, they have said that he has done, that being J.J. McCarthy, absolutely everything right since the day he stepped foot in the building. It's really as simple as that. There's no reason for them to bet against him, doubt him, bring in competition for him, other than just to have some insurance in case something has gone wrong, could potentially go wrong with his rehab from the meniscus injury. Otherwise, this is their guy. They drafted him 10th overall. They saw what they needed to see in the offseason last year as a rookie. They saw what they needed to see when he played against the Las Vegas Raiders in the preseason in the brief amount of time, and he had that nice deep ball. To
Naylor?
Oh, who was it to? No, it was to Justin Jefferson. It was beautiful. He has everything that they're looking for. They're just trying to make sure it's all supported around him, and they're off and running.
I can't start the show without my wave. I hope all y'all doing well.
How we normally do. I see you swag with that beard all trimmed up. Okay.
Yeah, man. Dan and Lewis made great points, and Shefty alluded to it. We have a little bit of recall historically when a team is all in on their quarterback. This is familiar to what Philly did when they figured out Jalen Hurts was the guy. They actually did it when they thought Carson Wentz would usher them along. Brock Purdy in San Francisco, the move that they made to get Christian McCaffrey. This is the opportunity, obviously, for the Minnesota Vikings to not only show the confidence they have in their young quarterback, but to build a roster inside out. And y'all know I'm biased. The line of scrimmage changes games. I know we like to talk about wide receivers and quarterbacks, but then you mentioned it. Ryan Kelly, you get Darisaw back, obviously. You talk about Fries coming in. This is solidifying to this young man that we are going to put you in a position to be successful. And for as long as I've been on this show, and I've heard you and Lou say this as well, more young quarterbacks are burned by their football team than are lifted up and propped it up and put in a really good situation. And Minnesota not only is telling J.J. McCarthy that, but they're also telling this fan base that they feel like the win opportunity is right now. Because when you start focusing on your offensive and defensive line, there is no more of a factor to me that you plan on winning immediately. And they made some game-changing type decisions up front.
When they drafted J.J. McCarthy last year, everybody that pays attention to football said it was the best situation for a quarterback to go into in the NFL. It's better right now than it was the one he went into.
Better.
Since 2020, quarterback-wide receiver duos that yards per game lead the NFL. Since 2020, number 1 is Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson at 99 yards a game. Number 6 is Sam Darnold to Justin Jefferson at 90 yards a game. The reality is they have a Hall of Fame wide receiver and Hall of Fame trending coach, play caller. J.J. McCarthy's going to be just fine.
That's amazing. I do think the situation matters a lot there, and it is one of the best, if not the best.
The best in the NFL for a quarterback.
So another departure today for the Vikings was their quarterback, Daniel Jones, that they had on their roster. He's going to go to Indy to compete with Anthony Richardson, and obviously felt like that was a better situation for him to potentially play. Makes sense. How do you see this one playing out, Dan?
Anthony Richardson, though, the Colts have told you in the last year, it's time. They benched you. Joe Flacco goes in. And now they brought in Daniel Jones for $14 million and upwards of $17 million. You are in the competition to prove that you belong in the NFL. And now I've loved Anthony since he came out of school. I've championed Anthony. I don't know if it's been the ideal setting that we thought it was going to be with Shane Steichen and the Colts. But this is the reality of the NFL. They've made it very clear to you that we need you to take the necessary steps, and they're bringing in a guy that will. Daniel Jones, from the time he gets in that building, Louis, Shefty, Laura, you know, Marcus, he's going to do all the right things, say all the right things, be a great teammate. This is now for Anthony the time to go. This is my job.
I'll say real quickly, there's no reason why Anthony should not win this job. There's no reason. You have the right mindset, you'll win the job. You have the skill set. Daniel Jones' skill set can't touch yours. And I have nothing but respect for him.
Yeah.
But he should not beat you out. This will be something we'll be watching very closely.
I was going to say that the way all of that unfolds is going to be fascinating, because you would expect Daniel Jones, as Dan brought out in this past hour, to be really prepared, look really good in camp. And
a shocking piece of news has just emerged that could change the course of the upcoming NFL season. The Minnesota Vikings might be very close to signing Cooper Kupp, one of the most talented wide receivers in the league. This is not just a rumor. The connections between Kupp and the team are real, and the coaches are highly interested in his addition. What does this mean for the Vikings and for the league in general? Stay tuned to learn all the details of this potential move. Before diving into the details of Cooper Kupp's possible arrival at the Vikings, it's important to consider the context in which this news is developing. The Vikings, while they've already made significant investments in free agency, still have room for key moves that could strengthen their offense. Signing Kupp would not only bolster the team but also add a major piece alongside Justin Jefferson, creating an even more dangerous aerial threat. But is this the missing piece that would turn Minnesota into a true contender? The Vikings' interest in Cooper Kupp stems from a combination of factors. First, Kupp has a personal connection with head coach Kevin O'Connell and offensive coordinator Wes Phillips, who know him well from their time in Los Angeles. Both have praised Kupp's ability to be a smart receiver and an excellent blocker. Additionally, the possibility of Kupp being released by the Rams if they can't find a trade makes him an attractive option for Minnesota, who could sign him without losing any draft picks. It seems the Vikings are ready to consider this move if the price is right. Now, I'd like to know your opinion. Do you think Cooper Kupp would be an ideal addition to the Minnesota Vikings? Or do you think they should focus on other needs before signing a veteran receiver? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think about this potential signing and how you believe it could impact the future of the Vikings. Now that we understand the context and the possible reasons behind this move, let's focus on what really matters. The main news that's causing a lot of buzz in the NFL. This signing could completely transform the Vikings' offense and shake up the league. What will happen if Kupp actually joins Minnesota? Here's all the details on this potential blockbuster trade. Cooper Kupp, a receiver who still maintains elite status despite injuries, could be about to join the Minnesota Vikings. The situation is this: if the Rams can't find a trade for him, Kupp could be released after the start of the new league year. The Vikings, with available cap space, would be ready to seize the opportunity to sign him without losing any draft picks. With the support of O'Connell and Phillips, who see him as an invaluable talent, this move could make Minnesota a serious contender for the upcoming season. If Cooper Kupp joins the Vikings, the consequences could be profound not only for the team but for the entire NFC. Minnesota, already with exceptional talent like Justin Jefferson, could form one of the most lethal receiver duos in the league. This would force opposing defenses to quickly adapt to a much more unpredictable and potent aerial attack. Additionally, signing Kupp could pressure other teams to make strategic moves to strengthen their own offenses and avoid falling behind in the competition. And now, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think Cooper Kupp's arrival would be enough to make the Vikings the favorites in the NFC? Or do you think there are other areas that need strengthening before they take that leap? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep discussing this fascinating topic. That's all for now on this potential Cooper Kupp signing. Don't forget to stay tuned for more news about the Vikings and other surprises the NFL has in store. See you in the next video as we continue analyzing everything happening in the world of football.